Well, we've got the gym rearranged and cleaned so we can start training down here now. Got the bench turned around so we've got more room. Now just about everybody that I've been training is still having issues with the setup and the performance of the bench press. Probably the biggest problem is they don't keep their feet flat. They refuse to keep their feet flat. And I can't get through to them the benefits of keeping their feet flat because they see all these people on the internet up on their toes. And I'm going to tell you what, in the old days, it was a requirement that you keep your feet flat. And then in the 2000s, some girls in some new organizations started benching on their toes. So if you want to be a girl, that's great. But you're going to lose your leg drive, and that's incredibly important if you set up right. Now I want to do this one more time to show you guys how to set up properly. Now, you lie down on the bench, you pull yourself back beyond the pad, okay? You set your hands where you want them, plant your toes, and then pull yourself in past the bar as best you can. Lie down on your shoulders. Your back is hollow. There's no back contacting the bench. It's your buttocks and your shoulders. Now, flatten your feet. And now we're going to correct ourselves even further. We're going to push down even more to get that arch. Okay? Now, grab the bar again. Bring the bar out over the neck, bring it down under the nipples, and now I want you to push with your legs and your arms. In an arc. You're in an arch, you're going to push back in an arc. Okay? Leg drive. Now, when you start doing this or this, that arm is lagging because this leg, the leg on that side, is not pulled back far enough. If you pull that leg back, it will correct that. See how important that arch is? And see how important that leg drive and proper foot placement is? It's critical. Now, another reason that it's critical that you set up this way is that if your feet and your legs are loose, in other words, you're not pushing with your legs. Your feet aren't brought back towards your body as far as they can go. That looseness, you're gonna have energy going out your legs. You want to have all those avenues for that energy closed off. The only way the energy can escape is through the movement of the bar upward. That's another reason that you want to set up with your feet flat. Okay, it's May 1st, 2016, and if you read the paper this morning, Tommy Connell died. Tommy was 85 years old, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Olympic lifter in American history. He started lifting at a Japanese internment camp during World War II. A friend had given him a 15-pound barbell, and he was a very, very frail little kid. And he ended up in the 50s and 60s, winning gold medals, silver medals, bronze medals in the Olympics. At one point, even the Russians paid him to come over to Russia and lift. So that says a lot for Tommy. Now, what Tommy was known for in latter years was his arm and knee bands, which we saw the ads for those in all the different magazines. Muscle and Fitness, Powerlifting USA, he was one of these guys that came up the hard way against the odds, which you don't see that anymore. So that's the thing about Tommy. He was 5'6". He lifted in the 148, 165, 181, and 198 pound classes. So what he would do is, depending on where the United States needed a gold medal, he would adjust his eating. He would eat 6 times a day if he needed to be 198. He would cut it down to 3 times a day, maybe if he wanted to be in the 165 pound class. So he knew how to manipulate his weight to decide what division or weight class he would be in. Now, of course, Tommy lived in Hawaii, the Japanese, and when they interred all the Japanese Americans, they brought them to California. And the one thing, I mean, it was horrible as it was, the one thing that was good about it was that that dry climate, it actually cured Tommy's asthma, and it helped him as far as his training, his weightlifting. It strengthened his body. Now, don't think that Tommy was an old fool, that his equipment was junk, because Elite Fitness and Rogue Fitness still sell Kono armbands, wristbands, knee bands, so forth. So check that stuff out on the internet. Now on Sunday, previous to this, I dug out my garden with a pitchfork, and I'll tell you what, my Pollicis is sore as heck. Do you know what your Pollicis is? Most people would guess it's in your back, but it's not. I'll tell you what it is. So where is your Pollicis muscle? It's in your hand. It's right here. And it has 2 heads. It's like a biceps, a transverse head and an oblique head. And it adducts the thumb, like so. So when you're digging, you're holding that fork, that pitchfork, with lots of force for an extended period of time. That muscle's getting worked more than normal, and so a day or 2 later it's going to be very, very sore. Now the radial artery passes between these 2 muscles, so it's probably best that you don't know that, but if you sever that artery, you're in big trouble. You're really going to bleed. So you can play a joke on your friends. You can walk past them and say, hey, by the way, how's your Pollicis?